Left of the box. A lot of Canadians don't know how bad it is in some areas in this country compared to the rest of the world. So imagine we could do this in every nation if every major industry wasn't controlled by 2 to 3 corporations. So Canada ranks 216 out of 237 for the highest average cost of a 1 gigabyte of cell phone data at an average of $7.34 per gigabyte. Yeah, we're one of the worst. And having access to a cell phone is a lifeline. It's information. It can get you on the internet. It gets you job interviews, talk to family, friends, reach out in a crisis. Like being able to have a cell phone in this day and age should be a right. The same as like I'm a fan to a right to a lot of things, like the right to air conditioning will be very important in the next while, especially considering that wildfire season is off to a flaming start already. But this is what happens when we have just a few monopolies run our internet, our cable, our phone services. They're allowed to charge these prices. There's nowhere else for us to go to get cheaper prices. And it's the people with less who suffer the most. It's the people with poverty who can't keep up with these prices, that can't keep up and get the cell phones that they need to be part of their communities. It's so frustrating that instead of focusing on this, they're focusing on this.
No thing. Come on. This is just another example of something.
Don't want volume. Go away. I wanted to pause. No, right there. They're focusing on this. Could be focusing on this. But instead it's this. This has no effect on your life. This is actually could be life-saving. Crotchety, I looked at the home internet prices recently and it's brutal. There are no low price options. And like for somebody like me, this is my job. I'm not getting paid a lot to do this through ad revenue. Like I have some wonderful, wonderful people who've signed up to be patrons, but it's not nearly enough to cover my costs. And I'm working on getting there, but it might be a while and it might not ever happen that this channel becomes self-sustainable. I'm still going to do it because of how important it is. But for a lot of people, their jobs are online. And to have prices like this makes people who live in poverty, it makes it so much harder for us to get jobs, to stay out of poverty, to get out of poverty. Like people don't understand how expensive it is to get a job. And if you're not over a certain threshold of poverty, it's basically impossible to get a job. Like when it just comes to things like being able to buy grooming supplies, proper clothing, transportation, a diet that you can, like a healthy diet so you're not starving when you're going into work. Like all of that, you need money ahead of time in order to get a job. And then a lot of them will require that you get certain training, certain certification. If you work at certain retail stores, you have to buy their uniforms. Or if you work in a clothing store, you can only work in their clothing and all that sort of stuff. It's ridiculous. And so to have our internet prices just so high makes it impossible for a lot of people to get out of the poverty they're in. And it's very prohibitive to a lot of people. Because it's like, I can't even get the cheapest option for internet. You know, I had to upgrade so that my connection is better, so that you guys aren't seeing me in like, stop motion animation.